Today I want to talk about my experience using a menstrual cup, and I've been using a menstrual cup for 9 years now. So since 2009, every period I've been using a menstrual cup, and I switched from tampons or pads, and I want to let you guys know a bit about my personal experience, why I made the switch, and any tips or advice if you're interested. So back in 2009, I was learning a lot more about personal health and natural well-being and the environment. And I was learning about how tampons and pads are made of plastic, they're full of different chemicals, and they're harmful both to our bodies and also to the planet. So there's billions and billions of pads and tampons that are thrown into landfills every year, and they don't disintegrate or decompose properly. So it's creating a big problem environmentally to be using these toxic and chemical synthetic products in our bodies. Toxic shock syndrome is something that happens if you wear a tampon for too long. Also preventing the natural bacteria and the natural ecosystem that exists in there to function properly. So you can get a lot of issues by using tampons, and especially using them on a regular basis. Whereas something like, I've been using the Diva cup, it's made in Canada, and it's made of 100% silicone. So I'll show you what it looks like. This is the Diva cup, or the menstrual cup, and then it also comes with a little bag or pouch that you can keep it in. And this is made of 100% silicone. So silicone is the second most bioavailable substance on the planet, and it's very natural, eco-friendly, reusable. Silicone is actually what a lot of like breast implants or any type of implants are made of. So it naturally bonds really well in our body, and our body doesn't necessarily see it as like a foreign substance that it's going to reject, which is really good because that means it can actually stay in your body longer and not harm it. So on the package, the Diva cup package, they recommend that you keep it in up to 12 hours. This is definitely doable, and I've even forgotten about it in and left it in for 24 hours. And it didn't do anything. So it's definitely best to keep it like a max 12 hours though, just because you don't want too much bacteria forming around it. But it definitely is a very healthy and safe alternative. So it's not going to be releasing anything in it. There's zero dyes, zero bleaches. This is completely 100% silicone. And I know it might look a little bit scary, and that's what I was thinking when I first saw them. I was like, what the heck is... Anyways, so this is my third Diva cup that I've gotten in the last 9 years. So they say that you can use it for up to 2 years each one. You can actually use it much longer than this as long as you're keeping it clean and safe, but of course they do want you to be purchasing more regularly, so they'll say 2 years, and it's up to you. Like, it can get dyed after time, so you might want to switch it every year, every couple of years, but for me this has been also a really cost-effective alternative because they cost about 30 bucks, and they've lasted me kind of like 4 years. So for 30 bucks, 4 years, it's costing me less than 10 bucks a year for my moon time or menstruation. So I like calling it moon time because it's a cycle that is in line with the moon, and this is what indigenous people have been calling it for thousands of years. And if you're interested, I've also made a video on the spiritual significance of your menstruation, so I'll put a link up there for you guys to check that out if you're interested, just in finding out the power that we have as women for having menstruation, and to not be ashamed or embarrassed of it the way that a lot of our society tends to view it, and instead to see it as a sacred time where you are connecting with yourself, connecting with your intuition and with this earth. And so using something that is natural to me is also a great way of connecting more with nature and everything that feels natural around us. I'm hoping these sounds aren't distracting you guys. There's a lot going on in this park, but I'll try to just be grounded and focus. So when I first got this, I didn't really know what I was doing. I only had one friend who used a menstrual cup. They weren't as popular back in 2009, so I kind of had to figure out for myself how to get this in there and make it work. So I want to show you guys and give you some advice or tips. If you have any questions on anything that I don't cover in this video, please leave a comment letting me know. Or if you've been using a menstrual cup, leave a comment letting us know about your experience too. I'm very interested and curious about this. I also have have a link in the description if you guys want to purchase the Diva Cup for yourselves, and I really do recommend it. I'm not being paid by them or anything to be making this. This is just genuinely something that has been part of my life for almost 10 years now, and it's made a huge impact both environmentally and on my own well-being. So I really do support them and want to be promoting this. It's even something that's really helpful for traveling, because you can easily leave it in for 50 hours without switching it and be perfectly fine. So it's been a really nice thing to have for most of my adult life, let's say. So anyways, whenever you get it, the way that I kind of make it fit is I kind of scrunch it up like this. So I scrunch it up like this, and then I might even run it through hot water just so that it's a little bit like more moist for going in. I know this can be a little bit awkward to talk about, but I do think it's important for you to know kind of what to do when you get it and to not be scared, and also know that it might take a couple cycles for you to fully adjust and get comfortable with how you place it in, how it feels best for you. There are definitely different ways of placing it and putting it in, so you can check out other videos if someone else has a different way that they put it in that works best for them. So what I tend to do is I will rinse it with hot water. I always clean it before inserting it as well. So I'll clean it, natural mild soap and hot water, and then I fold it like this. And then I also actually, so I'm like gonna get very personal, but I just want you guys to be able to use this properly, but I put my finger inside first just to kind of be like warning it that something's going in, sort of thing. And then I will insert it like this. So it basically goes inside, so you have this much room in your vagina. This part will stick out, and that's what you're going to be using to take it out afterwards. So the rest of this just sits inside. So once it's inside, it's going to naturally open up. It might stay a little bit folded, and what's good to do if it's a little bit folded, because you want it to suction to the inside of you. So let's say you put it in, it opens up, and then you can actually twist it inside a couple times. If you do like a 360 turn, you might even feel it suctioning, or you might kind of hear it suctioning. Whenever it's in, you shouldn't feel it. So the first couple times you may feel it. It shouldn't be painful though, so if it hurts, please just take it out and try it again. You do have to be quite comfortable with your body to do this. So for me, 2009, I was 20, so I had been using tampons for a bit, and if it's more comfortable for you to start out that way just while you're getting comfortable with your body, that's completely fine too. Don't feel like you're doing any harm, especially if you want to be working towards using a natural alternative. So yeah, once it's in, you'll have this little part that sticks out, and you shouldn't feel that. It might be a little bit noticeable your first few times because you're just getting used to it, but it's going to eventually just kind of become very natural and you're not going to feel it, and then it stays inside. I know I was Googling stuff about menstrual cups to see which information I should be giving to you guys, and I saw that there was a question, can you pee while using menstrual cup? And yes, of course you can. So as women, we actually have two holes. Well, we have three really. We've got the poo hole in the butt, and then you've got the pee hole, which is in front of the like vagina hole, and then you've got the vagina hole, which is where your menstruation happens, that's where sex happens, and that's where childbirth happens. So in that hole, I know I'm not being scientific whatsoever, clearly I'm not like an anatomy person. I'm like, you got the vagina hole, the pee hole, and the poo hole. but anyways, the menstrual cup goes in the vagina hole, as I'm calling it, and so it's in that hole. You can still pee perfectly fine with it in, and what I really like is that when you pee, it doesn't disrupt anything either. So whenever you have a tampon in, usually there's a string coming out, and when you pee, you have to make sure you're not peeing on the string, or else you can get pee on the string, and it's just more uncomfortable, whereas this is just in there. And this might look big, but this is the natural size of our vagina on the inside. So there is a different Diva Cup for pre-childbirth, which means that your vagina is kind of typically around this size before giving birth to a child, and then there's one for post-childbirth. So after childbirth, of course, things have stretched out a little bit and you'll get the other size. So in the description, I've got the link for the pre-childbirth one. I can also put one there for post-childbirth, because I'm sure there's women watching this who have had kids, and we love and honor you for being mothers too. So yeah, this is what I do. Not sure if I forgot anything. I mean, so you go like this, it's gonna be all clean. I kind of prep and just put a finger inside and then put it straight in, let it open up, and then twist it around and kind of feel it suction. So does it leak? Sometimes it can. If it's not fully suctioned inside of you properly, it can leak a little bit. It shouldn't leak very much though, if at all. What I tend to do during my moon time or menstruation is I wear black underwear so that even if it does leak a tiny bit, it's just not going to stain. So I just get like 5 pairs of black underwear, and that's what I wear during menstruation. And you can get any black underwear, like there's really cute ones, so it's not like you need a specific style. There are actually also menstruation underwear where there is like a second layer just to trap anything too, and that's another really eco-friendly alternative. So I can put links to those in the description too. But yeah, so this is in. All you do afterwards is you just take it out, dump it in the toilet. Do not dump your menstruation in the sink because it can clog the sink. So dump it in the toilet and then flush the toilet, rinse and clean this out properly, and then you just put it in your little bag and it's good to go for next time. So you can easily just be using it over and over again, just emptying it every 12 hours and then putting it back in, or you can give yourself time to breathe a little bit and just use one of those padded underwear or something like that overnight. I always prefer not having this in overnight if I don't have to, so I like to kind of let my vaginal area breathe overnight and not have anything in it, and then just put this in during the daytime. But whatever you're most comfortable with is fine. For me, I find that just kind of helps it stay clear and healthy just by having nothing in it at night. What else might you guys be wondering? If you guys have any other questions, I know even the way that I insert it, my other friend who uses these, and now I have several friends that use them, but I'm just thinking of my other friend who back in 2009 used them too. For her, she found it very easy to just insert it, and I don't think she had to do any of the stuff that I do, like with the folding and the turning, but for me, that's just what worked for me. So just know that every single body is different. There is a way that you'll be able to put this in and have it feel good, I'm sure, or feel like nothing. And if not, then also don't feel too bad. Know that there are other alternatives for you. This is simply the best one that I've found, and it's so nice to know that it's such a natural substance that is used in making this. Yeah, so there's little markings that show kind of the amount. How full does it get? On my first day, it might get kind of close to the top depending on how long I keep it in for, but if I keep it in for 12 hours on my first day, it probably goes up to here. So it really depends to how heavy your menstruation and your flow is. So for some people, they might need to empty it out more often, but for me, I find I'm always good, and especially towards the last couple days, it hardly fills up at all. It's just nice to kind of have it in there and make sure that I'm not leaking in my underwear. But I know this might be a little bit of an embarrassing or awkward topic for some people, but I really hope that you understand how important and special you are as a woman, and that we get this every month because we're here to create and bring life to this world. So I really hope you check out that video where I talk about the spiritual significance of our menstruation, to really feel empowered in this time of your life. I know I felt when I first got my first few periods, I felt really like embarrassed by it, and I didn't really want to talk about it, and now I feel like it's such a beautiful part of womanhood, and it can be very unpleasant or painful to go through each month, but it's also a time for us to connect with ourselves, to release anything emotionally and physically that isn't serving us, and then to start anew. So we really do work with the cycle of the moon, and it always goes from full to half to a new moon, and it's always flowing every month, and it has a lot of valuable properties and reasons for doing that. So just know that you're very special as a woman, and that if this is something that you feel called to check out or try out, then please just try ordering one so you can keep it even for a couple years. If it's not working for you at first, try it again in a little bit and see if there's any other way of inserting it that might be best for you, or any other way of using it. So I love you guys so much. Please make sure to subscribe for more. Let me know in the comments if I missed anything, or if you're still wondering about anything, or if you have any fears, just let me know. Another fear that maybe some people could have is that it could go like too high up or anything. That's not possible. So again, I'm not good with anatomy, but what I do know is that your vagina on the inside is just about this size, and then it gets to your cervix, so it can't actually there's nowhere else for it to go. It's kind of just like your cervix and this thing, and so it will not get lost in your vagina is kind of what I'm trying to let you know. Like, it will either suction, or even if it doesn't, there's just physically nowhere for it to go get lost in, so you'll always be able to take it out. Also, for removing it, what I do is I'll like squat down a little bit, and then I kind of use my pelvic or like vaginal muscles to like push it out a little bit. So almost if I was like, I was gonna say pushing out a baby, but clearly I've never done that. But oh, there's a squirrel looking at me. It's so cute. Oh my god, it's staring right at me. I don't know if I can show you if it'll run away. It's the cutest thing ever. Oh, he's running away. Hi. Okay, so anyways, for removing it, I'll stand up, but I'll bend down a little bit, like squat down a tiny bit, and just press out with my like vaginal muscles. So it's kind of like, it's giving it that motion of release. And so let's say this part is on the inside, what I'll do is I stick my fingers up, so I make sure that like all my hands are clean, I'm not wearing any rings, like you are physically getting inside of your body to remove it. So I just kind of pinch it from the inside. I bring it up, pinch it, I twist it a bit, and then pull. So that's the part that I remember being quite uncomfortable at the beginning, is just removing it, like pulling it out. And I think that's also why what I would do is I wouldn't just dump it out and put it back in right away. I would just give my body time to like relax from that. So whether it's using a natural cotton pad or those underwear, just letting my body kind of relax for a little bit, and then inserting it again afterwards, just by doing this and putting it inside and then spinning it around. So I hope this helped. Again, let me know if you have any other questions. I'm perfectly fine making another video about this, and I really hope this helped, and I hope you have an amazing cycle and journey and experience on this earth as a woman. We are here to be connecting to the planet, our mother, this sacred energy, and to be bringing forth a lot of beauty into this world. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you for watching, and may you be happy, healthy, and free. Bye. Love you. Hi, sweetheart. Hi. Wow, you're so beautiful. Hi.